do anything
Yes.
different in practice, or what's how do you try to move past that
Yes,
issue?
we do some different things and some things that interesting. I got some good ideas of things that because I think it starts with you can't make a mountain out of a molehill. Well, it's becoming a mountain, so we got to chop that thing down quickly. But you don't want to do it with more thinking about it. You want to be able to free that. And it was interesting. I actually walked down to the golf offices and gathered up all the golf coaches and some of the good golfers, and like, all right, what do you do when you get the yips? And they said, don't call it the yips, first of all. So we had a good conversation about it and some great ideas, because I believe golfers are some of the best in the world at, look at you, BJ. I've seen how your thoughts betray you on the golf course. But golfers are the best in the world at being able to clear their mind. There's a fellow in this town, former Zag, by the name of Jeff Goss. He's great at golf because he doesn't think about it, and so you have to have that approach. You have to, and that's a challenge, to consciously not think. So you have to have a system to do that, and we'll work through some of that, and I think we'll get these guys in a great place, because there's nothing wrong mechanically with them, and there's nothing wrong, it's not like they don't work. Abu Kijab has shot more free throws in the last year than maybe any other player we've ever had. So you just, number one, it's just about getting the minds right and being able to free your thoughts when you're up there, and then the competition of it, and so it won't become an issue, and it can't be, because like I say, there's I say it like jokingly about the dogs that chase cars and teams that don't shoot free throws, but it's so true. When you look at games that you lost, you correct the free throws, and we certainly played good enough on Tuesday to have won that game. And free throws can eliminate any, where it comes down to one referee decision at the end and stuff, and we don't want to rely on that. We want to rely on ourselves and control what we can control.
So has that surprised you? Did you think this might be a concern going into the season, or has it been as worse than you thought it would be?
Well, you look at our teams. We've always had great free throw shooting teams. I think having Pat Insko around to make sure we were doing it every day always helped. But I think in the end, and I know in the end, Abu Kijab has shot in the 70s for us every year. That's where he'll be in the end. So he's got a lot of makes coming, is the way that we'll approach it.
I know you said like there's no technical thing that's wrong. In a weird way, do you almost wish that there was, just because the mind is a harder thing, it almost feels like, to get over in a circumstance like this?
Absolutely, no question. Now, I think back to the golf example with BJ, I think you got both. You got technical and the mind, so that might not be fixable, but you don't want to be messing with technique in the December.
Right.
That's something you do in the off season,
right.
and so if there was a technique thing, or even a slight technique thing, maybe we'd look at it. But no, we're going to address the mind, and that's way more powerful than probably any technique.
Yeah.
Does not thinking about it, does that include just not even bringing up what the percentage is?
It's hard to not think about it when you're telling them not to think about it, right? No, it's just the mindset and how we clear the mind and have a system to do it. I think that's the most important thing.
You bring up Abu, and last night, or the night after the game, he's pretty transparent, pretty honest, even a little critical.
In what way?
Just about confronting the free throws.
Right.
I think you said at one point in time it sucked, but just when it comes to his leadership, like, how valuable is he?
It's huge, and we got a locker room full of guys that take accountability. There's no finger pointing. There's no, they go like this, and not towards me, towards themselves. They all do. I do it. They do it. Everyone in this program does it. There's things I can do better at that I'm going to work harder for them and to try to find a way to do better. And there's things they can do better, and they don't look around the room and say, well, what about him? What about? They're all being accountable for that, and that has the making for a great team. And it's December 1st now, and that all seemed like we've been playing forever, but we just got out of November. So there's a lot of great things ahead for this team, and that's the message they're going to hear today in the next couple of days. And if we can correct those little things that again, like I went back to, good competition exposes that. Well, the teams that get it corrected and get it right are the ones that are going to be there in the end.
If we zoom out a little bit and not just look at one game or one aspect of the game, in the last 2 weeks, you guys have almost beaten a top 25 team, you beat an Atlantic 10 team, you beat an SEC team,
Yeah.
and then you come home and have a little bit of a struggle. So,
Right.
What is your assessment of kind of that situation and kind of the oddness of it?
Yeah, it is odd, and that's sometimes scheduling's not done in a vacuum, and games aren't played in a vacuum. So sometimes all that stuff piles up, and it's not who you play, it's when you play them. And I think coming off that trip to the East Coast, that's a tough game right afterwards, and a lot of those other teams have shown that that have gone to do that. But so all those things factor in. But we played good competition and grinder games and tough games that will simulate league games. And in the end, number one, that's what I wanted. It's hard to live it, and it's hard to go through it. It's a lot more fun to be 7-0 and 8-0 and haven't had to confront this stuff.
Yeah.
But in the end, if you have the guys with character and the guys that don't point a finger and that say, "Hey, I can fix my stuff," or things that I'm going to do, and then you have something special.
Did you schedule the way you did, kind of looking back at the 13 wins in a row last season and go, gosh, okay, maybe we need to challenge them?
Yeah, and just in the fact that, because you have to have, I mean, if this was a young team having to go through all this, it might be too much. But I knew I could count on their character. I knew I could count on their togetherness, and I knew it would make us better and put us in a great position. Our numbers are still good. You look at it, starting with the Utah Valley game. They have not lost since they left here. They won 7 straight, and they beat BYU last night, the 12th team in the country. So these numbers, if we can start taking care of our business, these numbers could end up just where we need them.
What you kind of get all the talk on the free throws kind of masks some of the other positives from the game.
Yeah.
And like what Tyson did and Pavle too. I mean, both those guys, they were wanting to take the shots and wanting to try to do things. I mean, how much from those two guys can that really help this team moving forward if you're getting that kind of thing on a nightly basis?
And that's part of what preseason's for, is to figure out the roles and who can do what. And those two were terrific, and not just those two, but we've got unselfish guys all up and down the lineup, and different nights it's going to be different guys. And when we get all 8 or 9 clicking, or 10 clicking right now, then we got a chance to be great.
When it comes to a guy like Tyson.
Oh wait, there's one of my consultants. Do you have anything? What's Walsh?
Hugo.
What?
Hugo. Is it Hugo?
You said you were a pro about mental aspects.
Yeah,
of free
he was
throws.
in our conversation
Yeah, we had a good
yesterday.
convo yesterday.
Yeah.
What'd you tell him?
Secrets.
Yeah, there you go. Good. That's right. You're going to have to charge a fee. That'll be your NIL. Come out and give the therapy when you correct it. That's it.